Welcome to the Aesthetics Injector Gang podcast. Having a gang of mentors in this industry has been a blessing that we wanted to share with you. Our core group has been traveling together and comparing notes about life and business for years. Tune in as we delve into topics with others in the industry that you are sure to love and make you laugh.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Aesthetic Injector Gang podcast. I am fortunate enough to be joined with my buddy, aka my conference boyfriend, Dr. Stephen Sorr. And we are evading some technological challenges on my part because my Wi-Fi is terrible today. So we're going to hope this all goes as planned. But, you know, technology is great when it works and it sucks when it doesn't. But I really wanted to bring him on here and give him a voice because he is so talented. He's all over the country. He's a KOL for a million things, but he is so ingrained and believes full-heartedly in all things regenerative medicine and wellness. And I just love it. And I love his viewpoint. So with that mouthful, I'll shut up and let you introduce yourself, my dear.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. I'm excited. Obviously, you and I know each other. We go back to many, many years ago. I think 21 or 22, something like that.
Yep.
So just being on the circuit and educating all around the country, it's super fun. But a lot of people really don't know a lot about who I am and like what I do in real life, like as a clinical practitioner. So
absolutely,
I have a med spa, if you want to call it that. It's aesthetics and wellness here in Scottsdale. It's called Source of Health. And I've been helping people for over a decade in that look and feel better category. I started my background with orthopedics. As a naturopathic doctor, I didn't want to prescribe drugs. I didn't want to do surgery. I didn't want to do what everybody else was already doing because it's a broken system. So back in, I think it was like 2008, I was like, I want to do something with my brain. I'm very artsy. I'm very sciencey. So I was like, let me go to med school. So I looked at all of these different medical schools, chiropractic, DO, MD, and I was like, you know what? And I landed on naturopathic medicine, which I had never heard about. I had no idea. But a yoga instructor friend of mine was one. I was like, what the heck? He's like, go check out the school. I'm like, okay. And there was something that was said, I think it was just in a little flyer, and it stuck with me, and I adopted it. It says mind of a doctor and heart of a healer. That resonated with me so strongly. I'm like, where do I sign? Where do I sign? Because that's exactly what I want to do. And that might have been just something like cute and clever from a marketing perspective, but it's so aligned with what I am and who I present into the world and what I want to do as my purpose. So I looked into it. I dove in. I graduated with, flying colors. I had such a great time there, but that was over a decade ago. And through that process, I was learning all about orthopedics and regenerative medicine, which back in the day, people knew what PRP was from Kim K and the vampire facial and all those kind of things. That was just in its infancy. And to have started in orthopedics, where a lot of the regen started with wound healing, it was such a clear shoe-in to get into aesthetics with it. But that wasn't my initial intention. I had an esthetician who was doing skincare, and it complemented everything that we're doing in my side of the practice. And the wellness and looking at people's blood work and just good old general care is really the crux of it all. It's always looking at the foundation of that human being. I like to say, please do not major in the minors. Focus on the most important things. So everyone's like, oh, what's this new cool trendy hip da-da-da-da-da? I'm like, listen, A, B, C before you get to X, Y, Z. And that's really what I've been rolling with. And it makes such a huge difference. Now, not everything is easy, but it is simple in its entirety. So I get my patients healthy and well first, if I can, when it comes to anything that is in the regenerative space or the functional aesthetic things, because they're going to get better outcomes. So that's what I teach on stage about, and I'm all over the country on these types of integrative work, looking at gut health, looking at how hormones are implying better outcomes for our regenerative tools, whether it's lasers, biostimulators, you name it.
Absolutely. And what I love about you is that you really lead with wellness first. And like you just said, like aesthetics wasn't your initial intention. It kind of complemented, I think, everything that you do and everything that you preach and practice, which I think is
Yeah.
great.
And for me,
Now,
it's not a lot of heavy lifting to help people on the wellness side. I just need to get you on board. That doesn't
right.
take a lot of work, but it allows for that conversation while I'm doing your toxin fillers. Like, hey, how are you doing with X, Y, and Z? Do you need some support here? Yeah, I can call in a prescription for this, or yes, I can, if you need a supplement, I could make a recommendation for that. But always focusing on those things, it's just going to get better results.
I love that. And I feel like, especially within the past, I don't know, 6 to 9 months, regenerative aesthetics has been the new buzzword. And you've been doing this all along. So
Yeah.
what's your approach when people come in and, especially just using us as an example, like when a guy comes in, is like, yeah, I just want to get on testosterone. Like, I know that you just don't like check a lab and then prescribe. Can you talk more about your approach to how you treat somebody holistically, especially when it comes to peptides and hormones?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things I'll back up with is business and marketing has like ruined everything. Make
Yeah.
this like turnkey system and all you have to do is XYZ and sell this package. That is polluting the environment of medical aesthetics as well as healthcare. Yes, business matters, but it's really about the person and doing what's right for them. The first to no harm and medical ethics, they need to supersede things. So if it's not safe, we're not doing it. If it's
Mhm.
effective, great. I love it. Yeah, it makes people happy. But if it's not safe to do, or if it's not the right thing to do at that moment, they need to have that pause because it's really about the patient is coming in, they want results, right?
Right.
But you can't give them the key to the castle unless they are doing X, Y, and Z first. It's a foundation. You have to build a strong foundation. And I can't emphasize that enough.
Mhm.
People who, let's say it's a postmenopausal woman and she's dieting and dieting and dieting, whether she's on GLP medication or not. And she's like, my sculpture's not working. My radius, my threads, nothing's working. The laser didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. What do you think collagen is made out of? Protein. Where do
Mhm.
you think it comes from? The ether? Well, if you're not getting enough, where's the body going to take it from? Your bones, your hair, your skin, and your joints. That's
Mhm.
kind of what regenerative medicine is really focused on, is getting those elements to become robust again. Hormones are an important signal, and after menopause or as andropause happens for men, we lose those vital, essential hormones. So I can give you back the hormone, but I still can't put the protein in your mouth. You need to do that yourself. You
Right.
need the physical stimulus of strength training, resistance training. What happens to an astronaut in outer space? They become osteoporotic, their muscles atrophy. That's just from not having gravity on them.
Mhm.
But sitting and doing nothing sedentary, running around doing errands is still sedentary to me. If you're not training, you're losing because
Mhm.
after 50 and after 65, the chances of putting muscle back on are very, very hard. So if you could build it up and maintain, you're going to be so much better as you set off into the second half of life.
Absolutely.
So
And I
really
feel
where,
like, oh, sorry. Love these technological challenges.
well,
One
my,
thing that like comes to mind is whenever I used to work out a ton, I wasn't really pairing like a good healthy diet with that. And I feel like I would always try to like out gym my eating, but you can never do that in my opinion. And I'm feeling that as I just turned 40 even more so. Like I did paleo for a month, felt great, but like I missed my sweets so much and I wanted to like literally like commit homicide. So I figured instead of going to jail, I'll just have my ice cream. But I always feel like when the pain is great enough, people will change. So eventually I will get back to like a little bit more of a healthy, more balanced diet. Or just not even diet, just a healthier way of eating. But it's kind of like what you just said. You really can't just try to math the math and get all of these things with biostimulators and expect these results if you're not kind of feeding the whole origin of collagen synthesis?
It's an equation. And if your equation is unbalanced, you're not going to get the right result. Your outcome
Right.
isn't going to be there.
Yep.
So people are trying to throw a peptide on something or a skincare thing on top of, or mixing your different treatments together, which is great because they do work, but it works better if you have the raw materials. Your body is not stupid. It's doing exactly what you're telling it to do.
Mm-hmm. I
People
love
are like,
that.
I can't lose weight. I'm like, well, you're definitely not eating enough food. How could that be? Calories in, calories out, right? To an extent. But what
Mm-hmm.
happens is your body's going to downregulate key vital hormones because you're not getting the surplus that you have. So the body goes into a bit of a stress response, and it hoards, and it says, you know what, I'm going to downregulate metabolism because I don't have all the resources. Pair
Yeah.
that together with you're not sleeping well. You might be under stress. Maybe there's
Mhm.
inflammation happening, maybe or probably for a lot of people.
Mhm.
If you don't look for those things and treat those things, then you're never going to be able to get and overcome them. So proper planning prevents poor performance. Those are my 5 Ps.
I
And
love
people
that.
do not plan. People don't plan. So they plan to
Yeah.
fail. That's what they're saying. It's too hard. It's not too hard. Especially with like AI. I just tell ChatGPT, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm with the patient right now. Give me a meal plan that has this many calories, protein, fat, carbs, all that kind of stuff. Brr, puts it all done. It's done in less than 30 seconds. Everyone's like, oh my goodness. I'm like, cool. What about a 7-day meal plan? Because I don't want to be bored, right? I want to have some variety. I don't like this. I do like this. Okay, next. You happy with that? Sure. Now make me a shopping list because I don't want to go to the store and I only go to Costco. So like do it from there. Got it. Like you can keep working with it and use those tools. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. This is not hard.
Yeah.
It's
I
simple.
never would have thought to use ChatGPT in that way to make a meal plan. And obviously you've tested it and tried it out. So
It's very
that's
easy. It's
that's
simple to
pretty
do.
cool. Huh.
Yeah. It's very underutilized. So, whenever this gets launched, it's the month of July right now, and ChatGPT is about to launch 5.0.
Ooh, I did
So
not know that. Huh.
ChatGPT 5 is going to be another huge logistical step function. It's going to be so much smarter than current
Nice.
4 versions. So get ready for that. It will be smarter than Einstein.
Huh. Okay. I'm down for it. I
So,
mean, I use it for a lot of other things, but I think I need to
yeah.
use it more on the personal side and not so much for business and marketing and captioning and all that. So,
I mean, what is the definition of play? Why do like little puppies, why do they play? What's the
I
purpose of
don't
play?
to
Because
release endorphins.
so there are health benefits to it as well,
Mhm.
but it's also social interaction, but it's preparing you for a real life situation.
Okay.
If you're playing and wrestling around, it could be a way to learn how to hunt and do something when it's real life situation.
Mhm.
So play is a way of being creative, having fun, and seeing what outcomes come about without having this, you need to get it done by this deadline. It's like, just play around with it. Just explore. People don't know how to play. People can't
Mhm.
be creative when they're stressed.
Very true.
They're coming at it with the wrong direction. So you need to segment your day and block out time to worry, but also time to play. And it's good to play because you can change the channel. And the more that you can change your channels, the more flexible you are with not just your mental cognition, but also your emotional resilience. So I love it. I
That's
think we can learn a whole lot from it. And we're just really in the infancy stage. It's only been a couple of years. So look out for more of that. AI is everywhere. I'll be speaking in September in Dallas about AI and the practice and how to do it more from the clinical side. Yeah.
yay.
I had to make my slide deck because it's due next week, for CMEs.
Yes. If you've ever tried to find advanced training, you know the drill, scrolling Instagram, chasing referrals from your network, and cobbling together course options from random DMs and links. Even with experience, there's still no easy way to see what's available. That's why I was really excited to hear that Moxie just launched something that's honestly long overdue, the Aesthetic Training Directory. It's the largest, most comprehensive tool for finding and comparing hands-on aesthetic courses anywhere. Now, you can easily search, filter, and compare 500 plus courses side by side by skill level, topic, cost, location, and more, so you can find the training that's right for you. It's free, it's easy, and it was built for injectors who are serious about getting better. And as we all know, the best injectors never stop learning. Even better, Moxie is giving away a $1,000 scholarship every single month to help cover the cost of any training you choose. To enter, all you have to do is fill out a 2-minute application on joinmoxie.com/scholarship or click the link below in the show notes. Speaking of conferences, I know that we're going to be together this weekend in Los Angeles. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, we're going to WeHo.
WeHo, yes, and 2 intense, very intense days with Toscani. Very excited about that. And from what I understand, this is like the first kind of immersive like training that they've had, if I'm not mistaken. I know you're a KOL, so you can tell me.
Yeah, so it's going to be a rather large training academy, and all of the different speakers have been using it and playing with it, looking at different protocols. And the beautiful thing with Toscani, for those people who don't know, it's been around for over 50 years. It's from Spain. And these are all sterile vials that have different ingredients within them. And the beautiful part about it is you can customize, you can play together based off of the patient, what their concerns are, what the indications are, and bring that into your treatment protocol. So you're not just doing a treatment, you're doing that treatment plan. Mm-hmm. And that's helping us understand more about how to get better results with patients, and not just a single time coming in for one treatment. It's like, what are they coming in for actually? And you factor all of that in, and you know that they're going to get better results with it. So the first day is more of the didactic. We're going through all of the things. I'm actually going to nerd out. Like, I'm going for it.
I knew you would.
We're going to talk about different peptides that are within some of the tools themselves. And then also the botanicals. I'm going to teach you all what botanical medicine is, because you're using botanical medicine every day in your skincare and you have no idea what it does and how it's working. So I'm going to get in there and give some good examples. I'm really excited for my talk. It's going to be heavy duty, like not anything that you've heard of on stage or in any conference before. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yay. I'm very excited too, because I brought it on too, as you know, but like I haven't really had the time to like dive deep into it. So I'm very excited to do that and really kind of expand my offerings based on this weekend. So super pumped, especially for hair regrowth too. But I mean, I know from your stories that you did your treatment the other day, and I can see I basically need sunglasses to look at you because your forehead looks amazing. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah, you got a good reflective forehead too. We have a 5 or 6 over here compared to some other people. But, you know, smooth glowing skin is not just about tox. It's about what else you're doing and then what else you're not doing. Like, we're not frying in a tanning bed or laying out in the sun like we used to either. So the skin has that ability to heal. And we have a lot more hormones than women do. Women have like 1/10 of the testosterone that men have. And we should have estrogen as well, which is very protective. And we are still young, Brandon. Do not worry about that number, how many laps you go around the sun. It's what you're doing with it. Because it's very, very different. There's twin studies that show people that one twin takes care of themselves, the other one lets themselves go. And like, it's just like a totally different trajectory. So I love to share with people like my 10-year glow up, you know, the difference between then and now. And it's just uncanny. People are like, what did you do? I'm like, I didn't do just one thing. I changed the essentials that are so important. I changed the lifestyle, and that made a huge outcome.
Yeah, it's really amazing what this industry and the products that we now use, like the influence that they have. One question I would kind of want to pivot back to, like peptides and regenerative medicine. For those people that are trying to either add it to their practice or get more immersed in the education and background about how to approach it from more of like a transactional to more of a holistic kind of treatment plan like you do, what is like the best resource, or is there anything coming up that you can think of that will help people better understand the best approach to bringing on wellness and regenerative medicine to their practice?
Okay. That's a great question. I think that can spring a lot of different sub questions within that. First of all, wellness is not an IV. It's not a B12 shot. It's not medical weight loss. That's not wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Wellness is actual medicine. You can call it functional medicine. You can call it just being great general care. It doesn't have to be this niche thing. It's just doing the right thing for the person based on the current evidence. Mm-hmm. Hormones had about 20, 25 years of stigma being, oh my God, they're bad. They cause all these problems. And now that has been erased. It's been expunged from the record.
Yeah.
But we're still left with people who are already postmenopausal that are still afraid of hormones because hormones cause, cancer, and they don't. They don't cause cancer. They can feed it, but they don't make cancer happen.
Right.
If that were the case, teenagers would develop cancer all so much more than women who are postmenopausal. So that exposure thing, that doesn't track. Anyway, testosterone. First of all, hormones are extremely cheap. Cheap. Does not cost hardly any money. And they come from a regular pharmacy. They don't have to be anything fancy. We can put them into compounds and make them into creams or doing certain things to customize. That takes a little bit more training. That's more advanced. But somebody who is not used to looking at blood work, who doesn't prescribe already, should not be just jumping into what can I pull off the shelf and give to somebody. It's not that way. Topical things, knock yourself out, right? You put skincare on, as long as it's not beef tallow, please. God, no, please. Topical is different. But when it comes to an injectable or even an oral capsule of a hormone or a peptide, you do have to be conscientious of what that peptide is doing. They're not all created equal. They're different. Mm-hmm. It's like an app. Oh, I can have an app for this, an app for this, app for this. Well, what is actually working? So I like to, again, stay with that foundation. Like if you're not getting enough of the A, B's, and C's, you're going to X, Y, Z to try to just jump in and capitalize on the business side of it, which is fine. Where to do training? I am building my own training course. I'm making it available online.
Yay.
I need a little bit more time and a little bit more help piecing all these things together, but it will be comprehensive. And once we go through this online, watch my courses. It's hours and hours of me just talking right here about what to do, how to get started. And that way we don't have to say, what is ferritin? I don't want to talk about ferritin when it comes to getting to the background of it. I just want to just jump through and say, okay, now that we're doing this, how do we optimize? You need a foundation. You need a foundation in education. It's not just a quick treatment protocol. I find that a lot of people will go to conferences, they get exposure to things, but there's no ability to implement because you're not getting training at a conference.
Right.
It's not training in a conference. It's a conference to expose yourself, looking at new and vital things that might be important to add into your practice, but you do need to go deeper into that. So certifications are a piece of paper. You can make one up on your computer. That doesn't matter. It's being able to master that information. So if you already have a degree where you are prescribing, or you're a nurse who can work underneath the guise of a medical director who will help collaborate with you and order labs and help with prescribing things, that's a great relationship to work into as well, especially if you don't have the prescribing capability as of yet. So there's different avenues for that. I would always say safety is number one, effectiveness is number two. Did that help to answer some of the questions? That was all packed into.
No, absolutely. And I think to your last kind of comment, like the one reason why I chose my medical director is because he was very aligned with wellness and hormone replacement. And he is a sports medicine physician and really likes to go more of an all natural approach versus surgery. And
Excellent.
He really just kind of, that was like the number one thing that I really loved about him was that he really wants to get ingrained into wellness when it makes sense. We still have to do a couple things in the meantime, but it's not like he's rushing to make a quick buck. Like finances are the last thing on his mind, which I love. And he is all about what is best for the patient. And I knew when I met him and really found out what his goals and his vision were for how he wants to practice, because he's actually younger than me. I'm like, dude, I love
That's
you.
good.
Like, we're going to be very good friends because that's how I like to practice in aesthetics. And he is competent enough, and in the state of Pennsylvania, a corporate practice of medicine state. Obviously, I can't practice independently, but nor would I want to. I don't claim to know everything. I mean, I know you are so much smarter than me, and I just love listening to you. And I love when you say nerd out because it's what you do, but it is so valued. And I know when we go to conferences, people like, you're like Mick Jagger, and people like fangirl over you and come up, oh, Steven, I love you. Like, and it's cute to see. I'm sure that sometimes it gets a little taxing on you, but I mean, you're just such a wealth of knowledge and so just, I don't know, you're just so ingrained in making people just feel better in whatever capacity that means, but specifically related to, the wellness and the regenerative aesthetics. I love your approach to it because I've had the pleasure of seeing you in your office with your patients, and I see how granular you get, and it's just heartwarming.
Thank you. I think it's not too hard to explain something to somebody, even if it's complex, because if you have true mastery in whatever it is that you're speaking of, it's not that you're confident, it's that you can translate that to the person. I use analogies. I love pilots. I love engineers. I love people who have these professions. I'm like, oh, here comes something from your world. It's so funny when I use a sports analogy because I don't do sports.
Neither do I.
But I think it's like a diagram. You don't have to be an artist to make a good diagram. You're just saying it goes from here to here to here. You're explaining the process and the flow. Because if somebody doesn't understand the process and all the steps that go into it, they're just looking for outcomes. They don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. So it's hard to get that buy-in. Why do I need to wake up 30 minutes and then do this? And then because this. Why do I have to put my skincare on in this order? Doesn't it all mix together? No, it doesn't. And so if they understand where that's coming from, I don't have to download my entire brain into someone in one visit. It's just finding that one thing that they're missing, pull it off the shelf, and give that to them. 100%. You mix your own little cocktail together, just to kind of tie back into what we're doing with Tuscany. It's like, okay, let's see. Somebody has some fine lines and wrinkles. Maybe they have a little pigmentation. Maybe they're a little bit older and they don't have as much of that hormonal cascade. Okay, so I'm going to grab some peptides. I'm going to grab some lighteners. I'm going to get some hydration and something to help with muscle relaxation just a little bit. Boom. In we go. I made it just for that person. You don't need all of the things all the time. Just be more focused and precise, and that way you can upregulate and dose more frequently. The dosage makes the poison, I think, is an important little factoid. So if you give somebody the right medication at the right dosage and the right frequency, you get a good result. But if you only put a fleck of something in and you're like, oh, it's got that in there, it's not going to do anything. A fleck of pepper does not make soup spicy. But too much makes it inedible. It causes an overload. A lot of people are potentially going to have already made some pretty big mistakes with the PDGF, with Essence, injecting it in the wrong way. It's not trained, it's not approved of, it's not supposed to be for that, but people just go out on a limb and try things with some downsides to it. Because that stuff is up to 300,000 times stronger than your own platelets. Like, oh my gosh, is that even a good thing?
Right.
Yep. We have to learn a little bit more. And science is not dogmatic, meaning as new evidence emerges, I am open to changing my thoughts, my views, and my opinions on things. That's what a good scientist is. I'm not stuck on ego or reputation. This is what we do. I used to do lipoaspirate and inject that into people's joints. I don't do that anymore. One, because I just don't want to do that part of things because it's so inflammatory. So if I put that into someone's joint, it's going to swell and it's uncomfortable. Yes, there's stem cells in there, but that wasn't the best idea now. But back then, it made sense, and we did that. With osteoarthritis, to look at an example, you don't have to be an athlete to have arthritis, but you don't have to be diabetic to have arthritis. But both people could have arthritis. You could get arthritis just by sitting all day long. So there's a metabolic component to it. Mm-hmm. Athletes might have arthritis, but they don't have pain. I wish I could put exercise in a pill. That would fly off the shelf. That would be the most a medication ever. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Because there's too many things in there. But I think, to summarize, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So if you want results, something's got to give. There's no magic bullet. There's no special pill for anything. It's looking at the person and being able to utilize all of your years of training and experience and applying what's right for that person at that moment.
Love that. I feel like that's a good line to kind of summarize this little chat together with us today. So thank you so much for joining. And just for anybody that maybe didn't catch it in the beginning, how do they get a hold of you? Can you just recap your clinic name and the other entity that you are about to launch?
Absolutely. So you can find me at the Source of Health in Scottsdale, Arizona. My IG and TikTok are both Dr. Stephen Sorr, and I'll be launching UltraWell Academy before the fall starts. That's my hard line. It will launch for the fall. I need the summer to plan that. So that's called UltraWell, and I'll make announcements on all social platforms when that time comes. So Dr. Stephen Sorr, all one word. I'm sure you'll link that in the show notes. Thank you so much for having me, Brandon. It's so great to be able to connect with you and all these platforms, and over the years watching you grow. So it's great to see.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. And I'm so excited for your new adventure with UltraWell. And if you guys haven't heard, he does really funny dad jokes, usually on Fridays. And are you still doing your Monday TikToks too?
I do Monday TikTok live at 5 when I'm
5.
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tune in live at 5 on Arizona time, whatever the heck that is, because on Eastern, I never know. But thank you again, and we'll be seeing each other soon. So have a great rest of your day, and thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Aesthetic Injector Gang. Until next time.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and comment. Follow us on Instagram at the Aesthetics Injector Gang.